Happy Independence Day. It is currently 4th of July. Beautiful day, and we're gonna hit this. We're ready to take this panel off. Last time we spent all that time getting this bad boy off, and it came off not too bad actually. I think the worst part of the whole thing was right here, and I had bent up this a little bit, but I've already straightened it out. I got a little bit more straightening to do, but it's looking pretty good. So now we're doing the car. I decided that on this back part, I tried to separate it and it was kind of a pain, so I decided what I was going to do is, where's it at? I'm just going to cut right here. I'm just going to make a clean cut right there and separate it, and it's going to look way better. I wish I would have done that the first time, and then it'll just be a nice weld. It'll be awesome. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting all this junk away so I can get all the stuff out that I possibly can, and also because I have this piece that I'm going to need to weld. Well, I'm going to need to get it off this one, and it's somewhere right around in here, and then I need to mark where it goes because I'm going to have to weld that on here before I put the rest of the panel on. So a little tricky, but it's going to be awesome. Now, we got all the stuff out of the way. So, you can see what I was talking about right here on the other one that I messed up and I took all these out. This one I'm going to keep all those in. There's my spot. If I couldn't cut this out, it would be so hard to get to, but it's in there. So, this one actually has less of a weld area than the other one did. I think one cut with the spot weld cutter will get that off, and then I can take that off, and then next one, I'm going to mark it so I know exactly where it goes, and the next one I can weld in and then put the rest of the panel on, weld it on. So everything looks really good. And another thing is, because this situation I don't have to do any of these, I don't think I'm going to take out the glass. I don't think I have to. I think we'll leave it in. I'm just going to put it down so I can kind of cover this up when I'm doing some spot welds or whatever, but I think it's going to be alright. So that's cool, dude. I like that. Yeah, I got a job for my little slide hammer action. All this was kind of pushed in, so I did a little slide hammering, and it actually brought it back out nicely. I like that. That's cool. Makes it a lot easier to get those spot welds I'm going to need to get. Some of it I'll just grind off because I got to replace that whole section. Another thing too is, I said I was gonna like try to weld together in there and try to grind what I can, or you know, like weld and put in a new piece. I will put in a new piece. I'll put in the piece that was designed to go in there. I'll just cut it off the donor. I don't know why it was hard for me to think about that in the first time. Anyways, so we're underway. Got this going. I was able to peel this back and stow it nicely away. One less thing I have to pay for and buy. I don't know how much that would be. Probably have to get it from the Volkswagen dealer, so it'll probably be a lot. It's just a sticker, but I was able to peel it back, safely put it there. They give me enough room to paint, do whatever I need to do. The other thing too I just realized is on this panel it has this information on it, so I'm going to see. It might be too much, too hard, but I'm going to try and get these original stickers off. I would love to be able to put that on the new panel, Even if it doesn't stick all that well, if I can stick it reasonably well and then clear coat over it, that would be pretty awesome. We'll see. I was able to get it off, but it's very clear they don't want it being removed and put on another car. So there's all these little stickers in there that say void if removed. I was able to keep some of them on there, so it's still readable. So I don't know if I'm going to put it on there like that, or if I'll just put that on a stick, on a thing somewhere and give it to the new owner when they get it, so they have that information. But at least I got it off. Hey, so got all this cleaned up. Getting all this cleaned up, and I just made this cut. Bam, right there. Just a straight shot. Ended where the weld was. There's a spot weld right there, so that'll just separate nicely. That is the way I should have done it on the other car. So just getting everything ready, and here's what I devised to protect that convertible top. And it may look hokey, but it's pretty good. I have over here's not going to get, nothing's going to happen over here. I just kind of protect it. So I put this tape on. I put the tarp over here to keep all the dust off mainly, and then I have, it's hard to see through here, but I have a big old thick floor mat from one of the cars I used to own. It's like big thick rubber floor mat that goes all the way over here. I'm only going to be working from here to here, and that thing covers all the way. And then I have this, and it's tucked in and taped nicely all the way up against the back of the seam. So I shouldn't punch through any of these. As long as I don't punch through, none of this will ever even get touched. And it's nicely sealed, so there's nothing getting in there. And with all this foil tape, whatever, I think that'll help when I'm doing the spot welds. If any hot stuff gets on there, I think it'll do it. I might even put another layer on there just to be sure, but I think it's going to be pretty good. I got everything kind of covered up, so it's protected. So I'm going to start drilling spot welds if I can. Being 4th of July, family got here a lot faster than I thought, so everyone's already here, so I should not even be working on this, but I'm going to try to get away with it a little longer. We'll see. Got some done, but I got family here, and apparently I have to play host. That's what I'm told. I'm sure we've all been in that predicament. We just want to keep working on the car, but we got to go play host. So I'm done for today. Considering the small amount of work I got done on it, or the small amount of time, I got a fair amount of work done on it. I can already tell this one's going to go way faster and way easier than the first one. Partially because I know what I'm doing, and also because I got the right tools. So I went and picked up this bad boy, and I got a little carbide bit for it, and I've already tried it out, and it works amazingly. I tried it right there. That was like 2 minutes, and already the weld's already coming off. It's just having the right tools. I'm telling you, having the right tools makes all the difference in the world. I'm going to have to do this one, and then I'm going to have to do this all down here. But with that tool, it's going to go a lot better, and it's going to come out looking a lot better, which is kind of funny because this is all the pieces that I don't need, so it doesn't need to look as good. But I want it to look good on this. I need this part to be good, the part that's going to stay on the car. So, and I still, still have to do this. But I got all these cut out. And this is all loose already. I haven't done these yet. I got to do this still. But I got all these out. I got this cut made. This whole section's ready to come off. And I just cut all the way around. The only part that I have left to cut, I stopped right here. So I got to cut these ones all along here. Oh, I don't have to do the glue right there. Nice. I got a couple to do there, and then all along the bottom, and then up the door. So I still have some work to do, but it's going good. Chase, you gonna help me next time?
Yep.
What do you think of our car so far?
Good. Just with everyone here, it's gonna be hard to
It was Tuesday, 4th of July, last time we worked on this project. It is now Saturday morning and we're going to be back at it. I really want to get this quarter panel off this car and anything else we can get done. I want to try to just bust out all weekend and just crank on it. So we'll see what happens. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, so I did that whole panel and I'm almost done drilling out all the spot welds on this panel, and this drill bit finally gave out. It broke right there, but you know what, I can still turn it back over. This side was still cutting fine, so I'm gonna still turn it back over and use it. I'm not even gonna open the second one. So a $5 bit did this whole project. Not bad. Good job, Harbor Freight. Moving right along, we got all the spot welds out and I'm working on these now. Now I started on this one and I realized that I was not going through the weld, I was going through the cross beam. So, which is no big deal. We'll just patch it up, we'll weld it back up and grind it down, it'll be fine. But what I learned is, for one thing, my little Dremel with this carbide bit is doing amazing. It's so perfect for this job. And what I also realized is that there's no reason. I tried to cut as close as I could, but there's no reason, because this whole panel's coming off. So if I would have done it right, I would have just ground off the panel and left, not even touched this, left a whole bunch of metal there. So that's what I did here. I just cut it way away from the panel. And it messed this up, but it doesn't matter. It's going in the trash, going to the scrapyard. And then I can get in here with the grinder and just grind the excess down and it'll be brand new, perfect. So I'm learning. You know, I'll have to fill that in and weld it down, but it's still going to be perfect. It's just going to take a little more work. So I'm going to do that. I already did that, so I'm going to finish up that. Well, I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to do this soon too. So, oh, and I missed some spot welds here, so I'll get those. Look at this bad boy! Yeah! 5 minutes, baby! Last time it took me 5 hours! We got a shop troll. We got a shop troll. Utilizing the safety equipment properly, I see. And it. Look at that, even the little guy. Camden, you having fun? Project objective has now changed. We figured out how to make a wing. To do it on the other side, make this bad boy fly. So this part has continued to be elusive on me. I went to take this off and we established before that this part doesn't come out, it stays. Which I was right. Comes down here and there's spot welds along here, which they're so hard to get in here with the drill. So I had to do it from the outside, which on this part doesn't matter, which has actually been kind of nice because I can chop pieces away to see what I was doing. But I'm trying to think, because after I took it off on this other piece over here, I actually ended up just leaving that part on. I never actually took it off. So all under here still has to be taken off. So what I'm going to try to do, I don't know, I'm going to try to get that piece off from the bottom part since it's not on the car. Get the spot welds out from that side, and then I can just punch through all the way on this side, all the way through there, and I'll have the holes on this side and I can weld it back on this side, and I will still have an intact metal on the new panel. If not, I'm just going to have to drill them out from the outside, grind them down and perfect them. But yeah, so that little section right there has just been kind of a pain, but we got it whipped. Hey, look at that. Nice. Got that off. And check that out. Woo! Oh man, the Dremel is making this so easy. I'm going to have to come back and touch it up a little bit, but there's extra spot on there, so I have plenty right here to match up with the new fender. And I just cut around it and it's so perfect. I can just grind what I don't need and it's perfect. And then this just started falling off, just coming off good. And you know, it's actually good this is happening because in both cars it was rusted right here. So I'm going to be able to get that rust out of there. So technically this part will actually last longer than the rest of the car probably, because I'm sure it's rusting over there, which we're not going to do that obviously, but that's a good thing to address. So right now I'm going to drill this bad boy out, pop that off, and I think yeah, This is the last thing holding this whole quarter panel on this car. So all these are free, everything in the door, all that whole part's floppy. I just cut pieces as I go here. So we're all off here. Literally one little thing holding the whole thing off, and we're gonna be freaking done. It's only 12 o'clock. We have the rest of the day to work on this. Yeah! And we are hung up. Oh, no we're not. Oh. Gotta get Mr. Little door chime electrical little switch action. Damn. Out of here. Here we go.
Here we go!
Give it to me.
Woo! We got it!
Woo!
We got it!
Alright, now we're working on this inner fender well. I took the time to get all this straightened out. It was pretty crumpled in here, but I got it all straightened out. And looks a little rough right now, but it's really straight, and it's actually really good. No, it will be completely behind everything, so it doesn't have to look pretty, but it is straight and it's structural. So now this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out right where you see that line all the way down to the bottom there. I'm going to cut that messed up piece out, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take that piece right out of there, do a skin graft right in there. So it should be pretty simple. I was thinking about taking all this off because there's actually just some spot welds, and then this would come off, but it'll only be the outside skin. There's still another skin out here, so it needs to be done as a whole part. Normally, in a lot of situations, that's not the best way to go about it. You need to do the whole panel because you can't get behind it to waterproof it so it doesn't rust. But this, we have all aspects completely open and ready to go, so I can spray some primer on there, and we do not have to worry about any kind of corrosion issues whatsoever. Alright, plugging away on this, so you can see I got it all cut out, and I got it cut out. So it started out as a big piece. I've just been kind of trimming it as I go to make it just right. It's been kind of a pain, but I'm getting it. It's getting real close now. So I just have a little bit more trimming to do, and I'll have it ready to tack in. And then so it's gonna look great when it's done. It's been a bit of a chore, but okay. Piece is tacked in. Look at that. I am very much a novice welder, so not beautiful, but dang, it's in there pretty good. That gap is a little much. Probably gonna get a piece and put it across here just because I want to ensure that that's gonna be very strong. I mean, I don't even know how much of the structure this supports, but just in case it does, I'm gonna put another piece right here and tack that in, so this has every bit, probably quite a bit more structural integrity than it did before. But man, not bad. Okay, look at this. That is in there, all done. And I can tell you right now that that is stronger than the factory had it. I guarantee it. It is sturdy. And definitely not perfect looking, but no one's ever going to see that again. I'm going to seam seal it just to make sure no water gets in here. I sprayed behind here with zinc primer, so there will be no corrosion issues here. And anywhere there might be a pinhole somewhere, I'm going to cover it with seam sealer so no water will ever get in. And then I'll cover the whole thing with primer, and there will never be any corrosion issues. Awesome. Hey, thanks Volkswagen. Okay, so I've got all these spots beautified, all the mating surfaces, all the way on this one and the other one. Now I wanted to do this video because I wanted to show, Volkswagen, in an attempt to mitigate corrosion, sprayed all this wax in here, which is awesome. It's probably does its job very well. But the thing is, I think they sprayed it all along here, and over the time, whenever it gets hot, it just melts and it just accumulated down here. So both panels had so much. When I test fitted the panel, it didn't even have enough room to get in there because it had like thick grease or wax buildup. So I had to scrape all that off the bottom, and see right here, see how thick that is? It was way thicker down there. But I would have to scrape all that stuff off there. And then I'm trying to decide if I'm going to try to smear some back on before I put the panel on, or if I'm going to clean it all up as much as possible and then spray some good primer on there. I'm trying to decide, but this is how they did it, and I still have all that wax, and it's very reusable. So I may just try to smear it on there and use it like a type of sealant. Of course, anything like that I've worked on, I'm going to repaint and make sure it's sealed so we have no corrosion issues. Okay, oh, it's been such a long freaking day. Damn, it's going on 10 o'clock at night, and I've been working a long time, freaking tired, but it was an awesome day. So productive. So I finished taking it off the quarter panel by 12 o'clock today, and then it took a long time I had to cut the crunched part of the front fender, or the back fender well. Pardon me, because I'm really tired right now, so I was taking everything I can just to explain it. But anyways, so I had to fix that. I welded it up. I'm very happy with the results. It came out looking awesome and way stronger than it did from the factory. So I'm very excited about that. And the rest of the time I have been cleaning up all the mating surfaces to the new quarter panel, and where the new and old quarter panel areas are going to mix, where they're going to mesh, where they're going to come together. So I've been doing that. When I first test fitted this quarter panel, I was almost like upset because it didn't seem like it was going to fit. Like, I knew it would, but it was not how I liked it. And I spent time grinding things down and perfecting things here and there, and man, it's fitting nicely now. Maybe a few little fine-tuning things here and there. Like, I noticed this part right here is a little too low. This kind of got bent when I was getting those spot welds out, so I'll have to mess with that. I'm probably gonna have to do some body filler here, and just to make it perfect. There's some stuff to perfect. I gotta finish this up. That's not cut, but all in all, it's looking real good. I think a little bit longer, I'm gonna be ready to freaking start welding this thing on, and it's really cool seeing it like this. So that's it for tonight. Until tomorrow.